show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Everyone, welcome back to TTOR. Welcome back to God TV Radio, and welcome back to me having a webcam. As you can see from the title of this live stream and the thumbnail as well, if you care about thumbnails at all, this is the first live stream that I've done on my brand new internet. What do I mean by that? Well, back in April, the weekend before Easter, I moved into my own place for the first time ever. And because I wanted to try something new, instead of going with Xfinity like most people do out where I live, I tried Earthlink. Now, the way the Earthlink internet modem was supposed to work is that it would basically operate on whatever the cell signal was out in the area, which where I live, we have great cell service, really good cell service. When I'm on my phone, just like watching YouTube on the app or scrolling through a web browser out here, my phone is fast and fluid, and it's great. And so I thought, oh, well, if Earthlink is running off the same signal my phone is, well, then this should be a great internet service to use. And it sucked. Instead of getting the service I thought I was going to get, I was getting about 8 to 15 megabits per second, both on the upload and the download speeds. Which, if you don't know, download speeds are relevant when you're, say, watching YouTube videos. Or if you're watching a streaming service like Netflix or Fubo or Sling or whatever. That primarily uses download speed. So if you have a really high download speed, you'll have a smoother stream from one of those services. Upload speed is if you're trying to, say, upload videos to YouTube or you're trying to live stream out to the internet. The higher your upload speed is, the better. And so naturally, it wasn't very pretty for me going at 8 to 15 megabits per second upload and download. It was really, really slow. It could take a couple hours to upload a video to YouTube on one of my channels, especially if it was like a longer video. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screen share for you. I'm going to see which of these settings would be best. I'm going to go ahead and I think we'll do this one. Well, maybe not. What about this one? Okay. So in this setting, we'll go ahead. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. It's been a while since I've done this, but we will be A-okay, I promise you. So as you can see here on screen, which hopefully you're seeing right now. There we go. This, as you can see, is actually, let me do something real quick. Nope, that's not working. Okay. Let me stop this sharing option, do a different one instead. Because I swear that was only going to share a specific tab. I'm just going to go ahead and just... Okay, here we go. No, that's not it either. Okay, they must have switched how that works. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight into application window. And we'll just go right here. And then we'll just add that. And yes, here we go. So I did a speed test while the intro was playing because I wanted to see what the numbers were uh, while we were live. And I was not disappointed. So think about this. Before I got this new internet last week on Friday, I was getting about 8 to 15 megabits per second on the download speed. As you can see, we're now clocking in at 892.29 megabits per second on the download speed while we're live on the air. When I've not been live on the air and doing all that stuff, we've been usually clocking in around 920, 930 megabits per second, which basically I'm at fiber optic cable level download speed. This is awesome download speed. But the real reason why I got my new internet plan and I got the biggest option they offered is that I was trying to maximize my upload speed. I got the 2 gigabyte plan from Xfinity, which is supposed to be about 2 gigabits per second download speed and 250 megabits per second upload speed. So as you can see, because of where I live, I'm not getting anywhere near 2 gigabits per second, but I am around 900 megabits per second, which is really dang fast, so I have no problem with that. But my upload speed is way higher. Instead of being 250 megabits like I thought it would be or lower, we're pushing 296 megabits per second while we're live on the air. This is ridiculously higher than the last several live streams I've been doing during the last few months. And hopefully you guys are seeing a nice smooth stream. And my webcam being on and my special background being on shouldn't be a bother at all. It really shouldn't. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do the cool dude thing. And I'm going to look at this on my phone like a normal person would. You know, normal people, that thing. I probably should have set this up before, but I was charging my phone, so, you know, adulting things. But if we go straight to the live stream, whoa, what the heck? Something ain't going right here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it looks good on the screen. All right, I was just checking on that. But yeah, as you can see, I got a gigantic upgrade on my home internet speeds. And so, yeah, this is really good stuff. Really good stuff. I mean, really, I've been working with crappy internet for the last 5 months, basically. Almost 6 months. So, yeah, this is a humongous upgrade. I'm a really big fan of it. And I'm really excited about the streams I can do going forward now and how much quicker I can upload videos. On my gaming channel the other day, as a matter of fact, it was my gaming channel yesterday morning, I uploaded a 62-minute 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second video where I was playing a game on Maximum Football. Over the past 6 months, nearly, it's been taking about an hour and a half, 2 hours to upload that video to YouTube before the processing even begins. But that same video type I upload with the new internet yesterday morning, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. That's almost as fast as the fiber optic internet that my cousins have that I visited recently when I was on vacation. And that's almost as fast as my new internet that we have at my work, because my work decided to get fiber optic internet a couple weeks ago, and it's been lovely. Of course, that upload speed's way higher. It's like 900 something megabits per second, both at work's internet and my cousin's internet where they live. But still, this is a great internet I have. I am so happy to do internet better. In the English strong suit, yeah. But anyway, enough about my great internet speed. The primary reason I wanted to do this stream, aside from talking about my new and improved internet and showing off my lovely face again, now that I got an internet that I think can handle my webcam being on, I would actually like to take a look at some software for you guys, because I know there's some people who are either watching this live somewhere, or you're watching the replay of this after the fact, and you may be thinking about getting into making content or making videos, but you might not know what kind of tools, what kind of software you would need to pull that off. Like, what software would I want in order to stream and record videos? And what kind of software is best for editing videos? You know, stuff like that. Well, I wanted to show you guys some of the software that I use, not just at TTOR here in this room that I'm streaming from, but also some of the software that I use at work and my regular job. And I think we're going to start with the software that we use to stream and record videos. I'm going to go ahead and do that magic screen share thing again. Where was it? Oh, I know you were here. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do the whole screen share thing. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and do the entire screen. I'm not going to be watching any videos yet, so we don't need to share system audio. Okay, so let's do that. Perfect. I like that. So first up on the list, I figured I'd show off the streaming and recording software that I use at work, which is from the company called Vizert. It used to be called NewTek up until earlier this year, I think it was. But the particular system that I use is called the TriCaster 2 Elite. That's a special computer that they make that comes with the streaming software that I use at work. Basically, if you look at the TriCaster streaming recording software, it is basically like OBS, but on steroids. There's a lot more layers to it and options for like inputs and outputs, transitions, and being able to play sounds and being able to play videos at the same time. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do with this. Like, this is professional level, like if you're like in a TV broadcast company kind of software. Like, this is top of the line stuff. But you don't have to get the computer, it turns out, in order to acquire the software. Because if you go to their website, if you go all the way down to the bottom of their website, you click on product updates, and it will take you to this page right here. And if you go to the TriCaster family product updates, and then you scroll down and you select TriCaster 2 Elite, it will actually allow you to download the current version of the streaming recording software. Now, I don't know if you have to have like a license or something in order to be able to use the software. You might have to. I'm not sure exactly. But this is like top of the line pro level stuff. Like, when I went to Las Vegas with my pastors for work back in April during the week of my birthday, these guys, Vizert, they had a whole like section at this convention where they were showing off all of their products. And of course, they had some booths set up where they were showing off how the TriCaster streaming recording software worked. And so I learned a few more things about how it works and was able to implement them when I got back home at my job. And yeah, things are going great at work as far as the ability for me to run the software goes, especially now that we have high quality fiber optic internet. But you can download the software for yourself. I know that for sure. I just don't know if you can use it or not because I haven't checked it out yet. But if you're like, well, okay, TriCaster, that's way too advanced for someone like me. I need something a little simpler. Well, there is a popular streaming recording software that is also professional level, but that's not nearly as complex as the TriCaster recording software, and that is OBS, or as the official name goes, Open Broadcaster Software. Now, OBS is something that is used by not all, but a lot of YouTubers, whether they be popular or not. It's just an extremely, I'd say, intuitive and customizable experience, because basically you can import all your own graphic art and banners and whatnot, and you can position them and size them however you want. And you can do the same thing with cameras. If you have webcams or if you have some kind of camera input that's picked up by the software. You can put the camera on screen and you can adjust how big or small it is, or how big or small you want it, I should say. It just allows for an extremely customizable streaming and recording setup. And I mostly use this. Well, let me back that up. When I record offline videos and then upload them to my channels, I record all of those videos right on OBS. And when I do live streams like I'm doing now, I'm usually doing it on StreamYards like I am right now. But StreamYard recently doubled the price of their membership, and I'm not a big fan of that because I was paying about $20 a month, but I'd pay for a year up front, so $240 for a year. Well, they doubled that yearly price to, well, almost doubled that yearly price by increasing it to $430 or something like that. Basically doubled the monthly price. Not really a big fan of that, and the website is not as intuitive as it used to be. So I am considering using OBS to live stream again. I would just have to figure out a good setup for allowing people to enter the room and be on the live stream. That's the thing I'd have to figure out. But I could figure it out. It's not impossible. It'll be fine. But yeah, OBS is something I would recommend if you're not interested in something that's like super professional level. I mean, OBS is still professional level, but it's open source. There are plugins you can get for it to add features that don't come with it by default. And it's just something I'd recommend if you're getting started making videos, especially if you have a decent computer that has a webcam that has 720p resolution built into it. I would definitely recommend OBS if you're starting out. Just take the time to get comfortable with setting things up and seeing how it goes. Now, when it comes to video editing software, I've used quite a few different ones in my life. For a long time in my earlier days, I used to use Sony Movie Studio Platinum 13.0 to make my videos. But then I kind of got bored of it, and I discovered it had limitations I didn't like. So then I ended up exploring a whole bunch of other softwares for editing videos. But let me give you three in particular that I have used, and basically you can look into for yourself if you want. Now, at work for a long time, I've primarily used Adobe Premiere Pro to put together video projects, whether it be putting together an hour-long TV program to air on KLSR Fox, or if I'm putting together announcement videos that air at youth group or air on Sunday services, or if I'm using it to put together other various video projects. Adobe Premiere Pro has been what I've used the most at work for the last 2.5 years. But I will explain more later about why I'm not using it as much now and why I'm actually replacing it with something else. I'm trying to anyway. But if something like Adobe Premiere Pro, which is like professional level video editing software that, you know, professional companies and TV companies and movie studios actually use to make their content, to make their videos. Maybe if you want something a little more simple, a little more open source, and that doesn't cost a single penny, well, you got Shotcut, free open source video editor, and it updates all the time, and you can just periodically update it when it's available. And this is actually really good software for editing videos. It's very good at setting, you know, the kind of resolution and frame rate and all that you want. And you can also use the AI tools they built into it. And there's just a lot of good things that come with this software. But I will say, if you're going to run Shotcut, you really need a high-powered gaming laptop, because if you try to run this software on something that's lower end, it'll be really glitchy and not run smoothly, and you'll think it's a crap product. Because that's what happened with me when I first got this. I was trying to run it on my old gaming laptop, and it didn't function very well, and I thought there was a problem with it, or like it was defective in some way. But then, as soon as I got the laptop that I'm using now and tried to run it, suddenly it runs perfectly smooth. So yeah, you definitely need a higher-end gaming computer, in order to run Shotcut smoothly. At least that's been my personal experience. Maybe you watching this video, maybe you've had a different experience. And if you have, let me know in the comments and I'll check it out later. So I used Shotcut for a long time to make my TTOR videos the last couple of years. Very reliable for putting together the kind of videos I normally do for TTOR. And I do use Shotcut at work for smaller projects, like if I did a prayer service live stream, for example, and I downloaded the offline recording of the service that I made, and I want to cut off the first 10, 12 seconds of black screen before I back up the video to like Rumble, or want to upload it to our website to replace the lower def version of it that's there. I use Shotcut for little things like that at work. But there is a new video editing software I became aware of that is a competitor to Adobe Premiere Pro, and is something that I started using after I learned more about it about almost 6 months ago. And ever since I got back from Vegas, I've been using this software to make my TTOR videos. And I've started using this software at work on a few different kinds of projects, and I'm in transition to just using this software only for all of my work projects as well. I'm talking, of course, about DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a video editing software that's akin to Adobe Premiere Pro, but I would say it is a better software. It definitely has a better UI, and it has better tools for editing videos. And especially it has a lot more and better variety of transitions and video effects than Adobe Premiere Pro does. Plus, the newest version of Adobe Premiere Pro at work is defective. I'm having to use the 2024 version of Adobe Premiere Pro at work because the 2025 version keeps crashing at launch and I can't even use it. So basically, I'm working on transitioning to using DaVinci Resolve full-time at work. And the reason why I'm able to do that is because ever since I got back from Vegas, I've been using DaVinci Resolve to edit and create my TTOR videos over the last nearly 6 months. So yeah, DaVinci Resolve, if you're looking for top-notch video editing software, you definitely want this, especially since it's way cheaper. Now, Adobe Premiere Pro, if you were to get it, it's not a free program. If you get the individual plan for it, you pay $23 a month just to have access to it. And if you're running a business that uses this, then you have to pay $38 a month and you have to have a license. Now, you go to Shotcut and it's completely free, but it's not quite up to snuff with all of the various tools that these pro-level video editing softwares offer. But the nice thing about DaVinci Resolve is that it is just as good or better than Adobe Premiere Pro in the tools that it offers, and yet the base software is free. The only difference between the free version of DaVinci Resolve and the special version that you pay a one-time fee of $295 for is that the latter has all the AI tools in it. So basically, the free version, they take out the AI tools, but they leave everything else. They leave all the other tools. They leave all the effects. They leave all the different transitions. They leave all the other cool stuff that's in it. So basically, DaVinci Resolve, for most purposes, is a free-to-use software that you can get. And if you want to have the AI tools and be able to do AI things with it, you only pay a one-time fee of $295 instead of paying $480 a year or, more just to have access to Adobe Premiere Pro's features. DaVinci Resolve is probably, at this point, my favorite and the best video editing software I've come across. So it kind of depends on how you want to go for video editing. If you want to do a completely free and open source project that requires you to pay not a dime for it and you never have to, well, then you'll probably be into Shotcut. But if you want a pro-level software that Hollywood studios use to edit their videos for movies, and you'd want to be able to not pay a penny for the base version of it, or if you want the AI version, you don't have to pay that much in perspective. in order to get it, DaVinci Resolve is probably your best option. So if I were to recommend software to you for video editing, I would recommend either Shotcut or DaVinci Resolve. That will take care of basically all of your needs for editing videos for YouTube or other video sharing sites. And then when it comes to like software for streaming and recording videos, I would say go with OBS because it's free and open source and you don't have to pay for anything. You're welcome to explore more professional softwares like TriCaster if you want to, but you may have to pay for a license in order to be able to actually use the software, even though you can download the software for free. I can't confirm that 100% yet because I haven't tried it on my home computer, but that is a possibility. So I would go with the safe option and take OBS for your recording and streaming purposes. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing right here. Oh, hold on. Let me go solo here. There we go. And I see that Proverbs Guy is there. Hey, I'm doing good, Proverbs Guy. I'm just enjoying the spoils of a brand new and much faster internet at home. As I was explaining earlier in the stream, man, as far as I can tell, everything's running smoothly on my end. So hopefully it's running smoothly, just as smoothly for you guys. Having a webcam back is great because, you know, I've been showing my face on camera for years on live streams. But during these last 6 months, I couldn't because my internet was so bad. And so in order to have my stream even remotely function accurately, I had to have my webcam turned off. But now I got an internet that's almost 300 megabits per second on the upload speed, which is actually triple the upload speed that my old work internet source was on. So, yeah, I think I scored big here. I think everything's going good. And I enjoyed sharing that software with you guys. I don't know who watching this has heard of which softwares, but yeah, TriCaster is what I use for work. OBS is what I use for TTOR. And I'm about to explore using OBS to do live streams in the future because I don't like how StreamYard's doubled the price basically to keep using their service. And as far as video editing software goes, I definitely recommend Shotcut or DaVinci Resolve. Currently, I use DaVinci Resolve for most things and Shotcut for little stuff, but you can't go wrong with either one. I mean, DaVinci Resolve is definitely the better software, but Shotcut's pretty good, and it's free. So do with that what you will, ladies and germs. Let's see how we're doing on the interwebs. Well, there doesn't appear to be anybody watching over on FTJ Media that I can tell, but maybe they are watching and they just haven't commented. Who knows? If any of you guys are watching on FTJ Media, be sure to leave some comments. Or let me go ahead and put the link there. I just realized I put the link to the room in my Rumble chat and my YouTube chat, but I didn't actually do that for FTJ Media. So you guys are welcome to come in. Just keep in mind, though, that we are streaming to YouTube as well as Rumble and FTJ Media. So if you come in, just keep in mind that there's certain things that you can't exactly be open and honest about, even though YouTube claims they're rolling back all that stuff in light of that recent news story about that committee that Mr. Jim Jordan was running, and how YouTube finally admitted to censoring people during the COVID years, and they claim they're going to bring back everyone that was banned during that time. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yes, I have the link to the room now in the FTJ Media chat, but it's also in the Rumble chat, also in the YouTube chat. So if you guys are out there watching and you want to join in, feel free. But yes, everything seems to be running good. I'm very pleased with all of this. I do know for future videos I'll be doing soon, the Charlie Kirk assassination was horrible, but the celebration of life service for Charlie Kirk that was hosted on last Sunday, September 21st, 2025, A lot of good things happened in that service, but there was also some stuff that came out of that service that really bothered me. And the primary reason it bothered me is because I can feel the Antichrist spirit coming off of some of the speakers that were speaking at that celebration of life service. One of the things that bothered me is that Frank Turek was one of the speakers, and in that speech that he gave, he basically said that he was Charlie Kirk's mentor when it came to Christian apologetics and the Bible. And I find that to be disturbing because if you've been a longtime follower of my channel since 2017, you know that Frank Turek is an older creationist who believes that the majority opinion of the scientific and academic community is a higher authority than the Bible is on the issue of origins, even though he knows that's not supposed to be the case, but that's how he behaves. Of course, the older creationist William Lane Craig flat out admitted that that's what they do. And Perry Marshall, the theistic evolutionist, 10 years ago in a book he wrote, said that science was a higher authority than the Bible on origins. Therefore, we should let science answer the origins question. But also, because of his rejection of young earth creationism and his embrace of old earth creationism, over the years, I exposed Frank Turek for teaching many things that are contrary to the Bible. So the fact that someone like that is Charlie Kirk's mentor before he passed, that was a little disturbing to me. And then, of course, Tucker Carlson is where I got the most icky vibes from as far as the Antichrist spirit goes. Because basically he tried to portray Jesus as someone who was killed by the Jewish establishment because, well, he was telling the truth about them and their wickedness, and that's why they killed him. The problem with that is that while it is true that Jesus did that, and while it is true that they did not like Jesus doing that, that wasn't the reason they had Jesus killed. They had Jesus killed because Jesus spent half of his ministry declaring himself in various ways, shapes, and forms to be God. In fact, on the one occasion of John 8:58, Jesus point blank declared himself to be Yahweh, and they immediately tried to stone him. So yes, Jesus was killed by those people, and yes, he did criticize them for their wickedness and their little power system they had set up at the time. And yes, they didn't like that, but no, that's not why he was killed by them. He was killed because he claimed to be Yahweh. He declared on one occasion point blank to be Yahweh, and then in other occasions, in more subtle ways, he declared himself to be Yahweh. Basically claimed to be able to do everything that Yahweh does. So yeah, the stuff like that is bad. And then, of course, that Miller guy that was part of Trump's cabinet before, or part of Trump's campaign teams when he's running for president, Stephen Miller, I think is his name. That guy gave me the ick too, because basically he was talking about how basically these violent, woke, leftist thugs have basically awoken something that they aren't going to defeat, and that we got righteousness on our side, and therefore we're going to beat them. Something to that effect, because I don't have the actual clip in front of me. But basically, I see Christian nationalism becoming even more mainstream than it was back when I first saw it rear its head on the alt-tech scene. And that gave me a lot of introspection recently, because I remember back in 2017 when I first joined Gab, and then as I went through in those early years, being on Gab, being on Minds, being on BitChute, when those were all growing platforms, I remember seeing this Christian nationalism movement start to sprout up, which primarily took the form of a bunch of bigots against Jews, expressing their bigotry against Jews on a regular basis on Gab. And so I thought, well, okay, yeah, these people exist, but there's such a small minority of people even on a site like Gab, and so I don't really see the problem here. But then over time, all the normal people left sites like Gab, and all you got left pretty much is the bigots against Jews. And so basically they took over the platforms. And then what happened in 2022, after Elon Musk bought at Twitter and called it X, suddenly those people are on Twitter all over the place. And they're getting such levels of traffic and engagement that I'm starting to wonder if they're being artificially inflated or not by, bad actors. And then, of course, ever since then, it's just been getting worse and worse. And it actually makes me think of back in the old days when Andrew Torba was a lot more prominent in the internet news cycle and when he was more of a concern in my life. Basically, Andrew Torba, in retrospect, represents the first wave of Christian nationalism. And he was talking back then about how he and his ilk were basically going to bide their time, and eventually they were going to take over and overthrow these satanic globalists. And while Andrew Torba nowadays is completely irrelevant and no one cares about him, the spirit behind the things he was saying has enveloped others. And now the spirit that communicates those ideas that Andrew Torba did has taken a hold of way more people, some in high positions of influence, position, and power. And it's actually pretty scary in a sense. It's pretty scary in a sense because it paints a vivid picture for me that the Antichrist beast system could very well have a Christian facade to it. Because after all, there's an old saying that the devil doesn't come to you, with red horns and holding a pitchfork with the red tail. No, he doesn't come in such an obvious way. He will come and he will present himself as everything you've ever wanted. And so I think the Antichrist could very well pose himself as Jesus. And basically he will affirm a mostly Christian nationalist narrative, which will over time, I'm sure, become Christian globalist narrative. I think the globalist beast system to come could have a Christian facade on the surface level. Because that's what I'm seeing happen right now, that satanic spirit of Christian nationalism that preaches a different Jesus, that preaches a different gospel, that preaches replacement theology, which is rank heresy, and that preaches postmillennialism theology, which is also rank heresy in relation to the Bible. That's the fruit of Christian nationalism, and that's the movement that is gaining steam right now, especially in the United States of America. But I was there in the beginning when that movement first started, and I have been a witness to that movement grow as they became mainstream on Twitter in 2022. And now some of those people are showing up and speaking at big, giant events full of hundreds of thousands of people, like Charlie Kirk's Celebration of Life service. This whole Christian nationalism thing is a real threat, a real concern towards the truth, towards the people of God. And unfortunately, a lot of Christians don't see the danger. But then again, if you read the Bible, it says that basically no one's going to be looking for the signs of the end times, and that the beast system, the Antichrist and his system that he, takes over and foists upon the earth, basically it's going to be so persuasive that even those who are the elect can fall for it. That's why Jesus comes back when he does, when the sixth seal is opened, because basically the beast system is so powerful and persuasive that if we are left alone too long with it, it will either kill us all or it will convert us all, because it's that pervasive and it's that authoritarian and it's that persuasive for a lot of people, especially if there's like a Christianese element to the surface level of it. It could get a lot of Christians to submit to it. So the Christian nationalism movement is the thing to keep an eye on over the next, I'd say, 10 years, maybe longer. We'll see what happens. But yeah, these are some crazy times that we're in, and I plan on making some more detailed videos about this subject. Like, I've done videos about Christian nationalism before, mostly in the context of Andrew Torba. But with some of the stuff I've been seeing lately, it might be time to start exploring the subject of Christian nationalism again with some very specific videos about specific people in that movement. So that is going to be on the docket in the future. I just don't know exactly when because, well, I work a full-time job and got all kinds of stuff going on. So I just got to find the time to do all this. And of course, I still have what's going to be my first of 3 videos responding to apology as best evidence for evolution. So yeah, I got a full list of things to make videos about for TTOR. I got a gaming channel that I run. I got a full-time job as a TV producer. There's just a lot going on in my life. And right now, it's hard to get it all out there. I just got to find a way, find the time, make the time to do certain things. And so that's basically what's up. And I'm not sure if there's anything else I should really talk about. No one has joined me for the stream yet. No one's in the Rumble chat. No one's in the YouTube chat other than Proverbs Guy. And no one's in the FTJ Media chat, which is okay. That's fine. So unless there's someone who wants to come in and talk with me about anything you want, basically, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream here. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back to having a webcam on during my live streams. I mean, this internet that I had for the past 6 months was horrible. And now that I'm on something that basically has fiber optic level download speed and a ridiculously higher upload speed, this feels downright euphoric to me, to be honest. But with that, I bid you guys adieu, farewell. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And hopefully I'll have guests on and we'll talk about other subjects. But it was good seeing you guys. And hopefully you guys enjoyed my Joey Harrington jersey, Oregon Ducks, which if you were watching the Oregon Penn State game on Saturday, it was a good time to be a Duck fan. It was a great time for me, especially. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Toodles.